Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. BTM here, bringing you British Week with a 1v1 against a Japanese player on Great Plains. He must have wanted the game recorded. I did not. No, I actually joined his lobby. But as you can see, I'm playing British this week, and I'm taking on a Japanese second lieutenant, a person who's better ranked than me, with an OP civilization in a 1v1 situation. So it should be a great match. It should be competitive at the very least, and if you can tell by the video time, 32 minutes, it will indeed be a very competitive match, because both of us are the kind of guys who like to go balls to the wall, if you understand what I mean there. But as I begin my early game micro, let me first tell you that with the British, since I started with 200 wooden crates, I'm going to build one manor house nearly as soon as I can. I actually should have already started construction of it. That was if I was truly pro. I would have had it being built already, that way I could get that extra villager earlier, so shame on me. Also, I did waste a crack shot there just because I wanted some experience, just for the benefit of doing it. But as you can see here, realizing I got things more or less set up and I found my second herd, I am going to start to build my second manor house very soon. But what I should mention here, though, is that this week will be double Age of Empires 3 week. I'm coming to the end of my summer in about a week and a half, and I'm going to have to not be making videos as I move across the country and I get settled in and a lot of things happen. So what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be double uploading this week. So you're going to see an India video actually coming later today, which should be fabulous for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's actually a great match, but I just want to let you know that that's coming. So double the Age of Empires 3 madness this week, so don't miss any of it. But as you can see here, I do scout out a 70 experience treasure, and remember, I'm trying to get whatever experience I can get to my next home city shipment. As you can see here, I'm doing the creep. Interjection over has taught me the secrets of creeping treasures and getting them in an efficient manner. So as you can see there, I kill one wolf relatively easily, but I kind of screw up on the other one. I didn't really need to walk away. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I kind of messed up a little bit there. So I'm going to end up creeping him and getting him, and then going for the treasure, and my treasure is going to get stolen, I think. And I was just like, that happens to me every single freaking game without fail on 1v1s. I just always lose my treasures. Maybe it's because of poor micro, maybe it's because I don't creep well, maybe it's because I always kill the last treasure guardian away from the treasure, which is something you should never do, by the way. You should always finish it off right by the treasure. But I lost my treasure, and it made me sad, and I wanted to cry. So, can I bounce back from the humiliating loss of a treasure? Stay tuned. As you can see here, he has a very generic deck, very standard Japanese. And I'm kind of like, well, I have hit 16 settlers though, and I decided to age with 16 rather than 17 or 18. You can age really with British anywhere from 16 to 18. I chose to do 16 in this game just because it is Japanese. I wasn't sure how fast the attack was coming. In hindsight, perhaps I'm going to change my microphone here. Okay, hopefully everything's still cool. In hindsight, perhaps it would have been better. You know, I played great this game, so it doesn't really matter. But you can decide how many villagers to age up with depending on whether you think you need an economic base. I'm just saying in theoretics, I don't know whether you want a little bit more of an economic base against Japan. I can see how you would actually, because Japan is overpowered by a significant amount. But either way, not the end of the world. As you can see here, I have a second and a third buffalo herd being herded to my town center. So my town will have many buffaloes very soon, which will be awesome. And this buffalo herd is coming as well. And there's nothing better than just the feeling of having like 2 or 3 massive, amazing herds in your town. You just feel like you are the champ of the world. So congratulations to me and to everybody else who does a good job herding. You guys are the champs of the world. Look at that, just that massive herd of buffalo right by your town center. It's just a great feeling, I'm telling you. So meanwhile, as you can see, I'm trying to get this Cory Dubois treasure. I'm going to have a second shipment available right when I hit the Colonial Age, which will be fabulous because we have a lot of choices. In fact, I find the British civilization to have some of the best Colonial Age shipments in general, and some of these include, you obviously have the obvious 5 villagers, 4 villagers, 700 wood, 600 wood, but they also have the 6 musketeers, 2 towers, musketeer upgrades, spice trade, you know what I mean? Like, they have all the generic good ones, so I'm always I really like the British card choices in the Colonial Age. I do send 2 towers, which I'll explain why in 1 second. I sent 2 towers because I had enough wood for 2 barracks already, although I ended up destroying one because I wasn't ready to double barracks yet. But I ended up destroying or sending the 2 towers first because I felt like I would be fine with 1 barracks and I didn't need a 700 wood yet. I figured 700 wood would be my 3rd card, and I was worried about a little bit more of an aggressive Japanese rush. However, that was stupid on my part because Japan generally isn't that aggressive. Japan normally is a little bit more of a laid back, you know, I'm going to boom and don't let me civilization. I was not really considering that when I was considering playing Japan in the game. I mean, I still played great, but you know, I wasn't necessarily considering you know, whether I should be going more boomy or economical. I prefer to play more boomy and more defensive, so I played more boomy and more defensive because that's how BTM likes to play. And as you can see here, I'm wasting my wood on more manors, which isn't really a waste, but I am creeping around looking for shrines. As you can see, I find some, and I really like destroying shrines. They take away population from the Japanese. They waste its wood. All around very, very good things to do against a civilization that can be very, very difficult to kill. But as you can see here, I am attacking his explorer, who ends up having to do his little magic trick to get back to his town center. So I am getting some pressure on him, at least forcing him not to do probably what he wanted to do in that region. And I am continuing to try to make manor houses, and I'm booming. I'm a little bit boomier than I should be. I remember reading a post by an expert British player saying, yeah, don't freak out about using manor houses. By the way, this is 140 food treasure, which is phenomenal. But they said don't like over boom with manor houses. Build them as you need to boost your economy and be a little bit more aggressive with British. But I haven't really done that. I'm very much in the I can build manor houses, so I'm going to build as many as I can as fast as I can, to the extent of having some idle villagers, which is not good. But I will hopefully survive that. And as you can see here, though, I'm now going to build some manor houses on the other side of the map and start taking advantage of those herds, which is great. You know, if you're going to give me the map or part of the map, I'm going to take it. Not to mention, at this point, I've managed to destroy 1 shrine. Looks like I'm going to destroy another, and I've got more musketeers on the way. I got a pretty good flow. Now, in hindsight, not in hindsight actually. Let me edit that. In general, from a completely strategic position, I would argue that would make more sense for me as a British player to go longbowmen against a Japanese player, because longbowmen will match up against both Yumi archers and against against Ashugaru musketeers fairly decently, whereas a musketeer would be weak to Yumi archers, and therefore, you know, there's a greater chance that my army will be more effective if I go with the skirmishers. I think that's at least my logic there, but again, not a logician, so don't quote me on that. But as you can see, sent 5 villagers. I'm playing boomy. Boomy is the way I like to play. You know, I'm gonna build a market. Look at that, forward market out in the middle of nowhere on the map. But I do need the hunting dogs upgrade and the steel traps and the placer mines and the gang saws. Pretty short order. That, in case you're wondering, that is the first age and second age food shipment, the first age wood shipment, and the first age coin shipment, in that order. Maybe not. I don't actually remember what order I said in. I just know that that's what it was. But as you can see here, I'm going to keep trying to take away from his shrines, as he comes out with mostly Yumi. So as you can see, I was a little bit probably foolish to go more heavier on the musketeers, but I like doing that because I like building manors. I like booming. With that being said, I should not have built that second barracks. I'm not going to sustain production from a second barracks. I could have, should have, and would have built a stable here. At this point, it would give me an advantage in this immediate fight. But as you can see here, I really don't want none of that. I don't want to face those Yumis with my musketeers. I like my musketeers too much. So I'm going to end up backing away, and I'm going to start making longbowmen, but that's just something I learned. Probably should have gone with a stable there. I know that most experts, if they are going to go musketeers, immediately, as early as possible, start backing up with hussar to avoid apocalypses such as these. But as you can see here, he does kind of attack my houses a bit, but he never really pushes there, which is like fine by me, you know. And I don't have villager production going right now, so don't pay attention to that because I'm a noob. I do have 4 villager card on the way, but I'm not doing a good job with villager production, that is for sure. But there we go. I got 3 villagers queued up now. I'm going to send them to wood because I'm going to have to sustain longbowmen. I am going to repair my manor houses. Manor houses are fabulous. They just tank a ton of damage. But now the opening shots have been fired. I've destroyed some of his. He's destroyed some of mine. I have a healthy lead. And I actually end up buying... gang saw? No, sawmills. I end up buying the second age... wood upgrade. Okay, that makes sense. So I was worried at this point about being able to sustain longbowman production. As you can see here, though, I have a rather large surplus of food, which I really need to start burning through to convert into military immediately. So in that case, a double barracks is helpful, but I really should have built a stable instead. Looking back at this, I'm thinking, you know what? A stable would have been more useful. I could have had like possibly 4 or 5 Hussar, and even though 4 or 5 Hussar probably could have been killed by large mass of Umi, they would be enough to scare him away, and then this would have been like a GG for him relatively, you know what I mean? I scare the Umi, whatever. But as you can see here, he's got a lot of military, which leads me to believe that he sent the 5 Ashugaru, 4 Ashugaru, you know what I mean? He went with a very, very military-oriented shipment plan, whereas I did not. Now, I kind of stayed in here thinking I could win it because it was equal numbers, but I forgot the Japanese units are pound for pound and piece of coin for piece of coin a lot better than my units, so I should not have likely stayed in there at this point to fight them. That wasn't a good idea. It's going to result in some undue pressure on my town, that is for shizzle. But I am going to kind of pull back my units. I got my villagers leaving my immediate town center area, and I am just going to hide by my TC and my houses, which are a little bit of a barrier, but not much of one, you know, just kind of a line of sight. And he ends up splitting up his army. As you can see, he does have Besteros, which are from the home city. So clearly he's done some snazzy home city shipments, and he's utilizing them. However, I do get my 2 tower shipment out, and while he's distracted killing villagers, and I really don't want to let him kill villagers, it is going to allow me to get the 2 towers up, which will keep my town center alive, which I figured was probably better than losing a few villagers. At this point, he's kind of like, he kills 2 more villagers, and then he retreats, I think, and I was kind of like, wait, what? He totally had me on the rocks there. But the 2 towers, even with only 8 military standing, have kind of protected me for now. With that being said, I'm in a bad way. And I should have gone Hussar earlier. It probably would have helped me out there. So tactical mistake on my part. Just, you know, new to British, new to the whole musketeer, longbow musketeer thing. But whatever. As you can see here, though, I got more longbowmen on the way. And I think I tried to make some Hussar there, or some musketeers there, which was bad. Don't do that. I should have been going purely longbowmen with some Hussar. I think would have been a better combination. But as you can see here, I'm going to start throwing up a stable and working to get back in this game. So at this point, I'm definitely on the back foot. I am losing, actually, pretty resoundingly. He's defeated me in every military conflict we've had. Head up. Partially 1, I didn't micro. Partially 2, I had a poorer unit composition. And partially 3, he's Japan and their units are OP. Okay, I'll stop whining now, I promise. As you can see here, though, I do have a stable up and running, which is great. But I did send 700 gold here because I do want to... What do I want to do with my 700 gold? I want to buy some Hussars, I want to buy some steel traps, and I want to buy some upgrades. I'm sorry if my voice is kind of raspy, by the way. It's a long video to try to narrate in one going. But that's what we're going to do. But as you can see here, now that we have the gold popping on the field, we are going to work to get some Hussars made. And we, of course, are going to keep manor housing booming, but putting the villagers from our manors onto gold, allowing us to kind of grow our economy still. And I love the economic aspects of British, but I didn't quite get the military necessity of having Hussar yet. But I will be adding Hussar in my army in the future. I'm creeping a little bit forward with my army, but that was kind of foolish. But as you can see, he's nowhere to be seen, so maybe I should have counter-pushed. I don't know, like looking at this, you know what I mean? Like he's nowhere to be seen. He more or less had me military defeated. I feel as though if I was playing as him, I would have gone onto the peripherals of the map and just started looking for villagers, forcing me to move them around. You know what I mean? I really would have tried to take control of the situation, perhaps a little bit more than he did. Not that he did a bad job, just that he really could have, you know, killed me and caused me some major problems. Because here I'm, you know, just kind of getting a military going, and I'm getting my feet back under me. I'm making villagers, and I'm building manors, and I'm making hussar. You know what I mean? I don't know, but that's... I don't attack often. I'm a very defensive player. But when I do attack, I like to be ultra aggressive. So that's BTM for y'all. But as you can see here, gonna creep a little bit forward, looking just for, you know, shrines and stuff to destroy. I don't want to reveal to him that I have hussar on the field just yet. I want to kind of keep those back. As you can see, my longbow-centric army is a good thing. However, if he has Naginata riders, I'll be in a world of trouble. Both figuratively and literally. Like, it will be the world of trouble. The map will stop being Great Plains, and the map will start being a world of trouble. My hussar are probably a little bit too far back at this point, but again, I didn't want to just reveal to him that I had a large mass of hussar going. I wanted it to kind of be a, if he runs in with Yumis or something, I can then pull in the hussars, you know, dramatic, day-saving kind of thing going on. So as you can see here, I think we're up to 10 hussars, which is pretty good, and I have a pretty good initial mass, and I'm trying to pop him a bit. I'm trying to cut his resource flow a bit. I'm trying to just, you know, do the general things, and I'm going to go over here. I'm keep working on destroying shrines for free. They cost 85 wood, I think, after the home city card. So I'm basically robbing him of 85 wood and 10 population space each time I do it. Not to mention I'm decreasing the flow of resources he's getting, which is all very good things in my opinion. I've also sent musketeer combat at this point. Not to mention, I don't know why I sent musketeer combat. This deck was not made, by the way, for going with longbows. It was more made for going with hussar, so, or musketeers. So that was kind of, maybe I need to take another look at my deck construction. I'm not quite sure. As you can see at this point, though, finally buying the 2 upgrades that I thought I bought a long time ago. So in hindsight, I did a very poor job of deciding to buy them when I should have, because they would have provided me a lot of help if I had bought them earlier. And I'm going to make as many hussars as I can and try to squeeze in one more before the time runs out, and I do. And I'm going to keep making villagers, up to 54 villagers now, which is pretty good, actually. It's hard to argue with that, but my opponents now hit the Colonial, or the Fortress Age, which is bad, because I'm stuck firmly in the Colonial Age, and my thought at this point is, well, I'm going to lose now. And the thing is, Japan already has an overpowered military, so allowing him access to some Fortress Age units is not going to be helpful for me. It's not going to allow me to really do much with him, even if I have a larger mass. And I'm guessing right now that we have a fairly even mass. But as you can see here, he runs into my town with some Naginata riders who must have aged therefore with the Buddha, perhaps. I know you get some Naginatas from that, but maybe not. Who knows? But as you can see here, having destroyed some shrines, I'm going to go for more shrines. And then, boom, like that, all of a sudden, he was in the 4th age. And I was just like, wait, what? Crap. Like, if he does not make more musketeers, but manages to upgrade his musketeers with the 4th age upgrades from Japan, I will literally, my skirmishers will lose to them. You know what I mean? So I'm already in a very bad way now, military-wise, despite the fact that my economy is probably better. I am, of course, still destroying shrines and massing hussar, but now I need to make it a priority to get to the Fortress Age. That's really the only logical thing I can do at this point to keep myself into this game. And boom, there's a million Naginata riders. Probably not a million, maybe 10. Followed by Ashugaru, not the Yumi that I saw earlier, so perhaps I kind of screwed up. But I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to lose that army. Great. Well, let's go run into his town with this army and hopefully get some damage on some villagers, maybe even force him to retreat. Who knows? I don't want to let him, you know, do whatever he wants to do. So I'm going to kind of run around in his town. Hopefully he's looking at the battle up at top, trying to micromanage that. I'm going to work on getting a new horde of units down at my base. And here we go. I did get distracted initially, but then I am finally going to get in there and start killing some villagers, which I'm hoping here that the panic factor will save my army at top, that he'll be like, crap, I have to retreat now to go save my villagers. But he ain't having none of that. He's like, screw my villagers. I'm going to keep killing your army. And he saw right through my theatricality and deception. But as you can see, I'm like, well, I really can't afford to lose any more units at this point, so I've already screwed up in a big bad way, and I end up having to make more longbowmen there because I really want to hit the Fortress Age. I really want to get some unit upgrades going. I really want to stay in this fight, even though I've kind of at this point worked myself out of it slightly. I say slightly as I'm getting killed. I've worked myself out of it because I did not build a stable, and I'm really finding it difficult to overcome the fact that I did not have a stable earlier in the game when I really should have. So not a great situation for me to be in, but it's okay because I'm going to keep massing units of both the longbow and the musketeer variety. Hopefully I'll be able to hit the Fortress Age and upgrade both immediately, at which point I will then not lose horrendously to him. I think economically though, I'm 40 points behind him, so I'm definitely behind him. But if you've been watching the score, which you can do if you watch in the HD full screen, which I do provide, 720p baby. If you do keep an eye on the score though, our scores are this entire game really close, and that's part of the reason why, even though I felt like I was behind this entire game, I never just quit, because I was like, well, the game's not over yet, you know what I mean, score-wise. I'm not out of it. I can still hang. I can still hang with these guys. So that was part of what was going on there. And then he ends up attacking his community archers. I'm like, yes, please. Nom 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 nom. And then I see some Ashugaru coming. And I'm like, I'm getting out of there. Part of the reason being that Ashugarus are ridiculously fast for infantry. No infantry should be that fast, to be honest, in my opinion. Like, it's ridiculous. I think they have a 5 speed. So it's like, crap, you know what I mean? Like, really? Gonna do that to me? That's not cool. Got more longbowmen coming, about to hit the Fortress Age, which is good. Instead of being 2 ages behind him, I'll only be 1 at this point, which, you know, yeah. Let's make some bad noises to express our discontentment at this point for sucking so bad. As you can see here, there's a quite large mass of Naginata riders, and I accidentally almost bought the pikemen, but I'm going to upgrade my musketeers and start massing them, since he seems to be going Ashugaru. And boom, there comes some Ashugaru in my town. In my town. Ashugaru in my town. Not to mention a million Naginata riders up at the top working on my manor houses. But it's okay because it looks like this horde of units I have should be able to deal fatal blow to his horde of units. And then the Naginatas come in and I'm like, no. But in hindsight, because I already had a good musketeer mix in there, I probably should have just left them in there to fight. But here's a crucial point. Look at his villagers there. I am literally owning his villagers. His villagers are mine in a way that is quite sad for him, actually. But I'm not watching it super closely. But as you can see here, I've killed like so many of his villagers. So at this point, I'm thinking, if I can just survive his big military push right now, if I can just survive this big military push right now, I can stay in this game. Because remember, from my perspective, as you see it, it's very plausible, especially considering the amount of villagers I've killed. So we're just going to throw some people on mills. We're going to restructure our economy. He's got some clubby guys coming in. And it looks like his Naginata riders are going to be enough to, well, they obviously will be enough. But they are going to decimate my longbowmen and kind of take me out. But as you can see, he's lost a lot of Naginatas. He still has maybe 10, 15 left. But nowhere near the amount he would like to have. I promise you that. Not to mention, I'm a little bit more resilient. I think economically at this point, actually. Nope, he's still ahead. But like I said, I closed the gap several times in the game, and I'm not actually looking at it in full screen while narrating, so I'm not following that super closely. But as you can see here, I kind of wasn't sure what to send, and I sent a fort. And I assume that's because he's gonna feel like he's at the death blow stage with me, where he has to come in and kill me. So I'm like, well, I can't have none of that. So I didn't say it with that accent, by the way, guys. My apologies. But I knew that I needed to buffer up my town center a little bit more. I did need to get another town center up, but I decided, you know what, a fort's a great way to go about protecting my town. So that's what's going on here, and I'm going to go back into his town while he's getting ready to march into mine. And as you can see here, I got more musketeers coming from 3 barracks, and I'm trying to keep myself in this game, but it's difficult. But on the bright side, look at this. I'm going to eat more villagers. Like, he doesn't notice it because he's just busy trying to destroy things. As you can see here, if that's all his army and I've killed all or most of his villagers, I can win the game if I can just keep up production. That's the way it looks from my perspective at the very least. So I'm not giving up. As you can see here, I get another like 5 or 6 villagers before he notices on the mini-map. Then you got more Yumi coming, and that's partially because the Japanese have great shipments. Not to mention, he's getting his age 4 military shipments, which is great for him, and really is not something I can match with. I'm going to send 2 cannons now. Perhaps it's too late. If I had sent them already, I'd be able to use 2 cannons now to mop up the infantry if I had managed to micromanage out the Naginata horsemen. Perhaps. I don't know. It's really kind of like I'm losing control of this situation. So, you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, I kind of forgot to keep it on my Hussar. So they're in that town wasting their time there. And I'm going to end up building 3 mills here to kind of keep up food production. I'm not doing so hot. I've also ran a lot out of mines, which is not good. I'm going to need to build a new town center, and I've wasted all my wood on mills, unfortunately. So yeah, you know what I mean. Not well played by me by any points here. And you may notice, by the way, I have people on mills with buffalo right behind. Don't laugh at me, please. But down to 2 Hussar, my initial Hussar herd. I think I would have been fairly safe and kind to have resigned at this point. I tried to save my Falcon Knights, but I always without fail, I pop them at a bad time, and this was no exception. So, yep. It's kind of sad watching my town get burned. I don't have enough Hussar left to really legitimately raid. But again, I'm looking at his score and the amount of villagers I know I killed. Right? Our score is now 10 points apart. Our score is 10 points apart. Think about that. Our score is 10 points apart. That means after that army is dead, he is dead, I think. Or at least, if I can kill that army. So, I just gotta kill that army. As you can see, I'm gonna build some more barracks. I'm aware I'm gonna lose my town. I'm not gonna waste time funneling resources into it. I'm gonna cancel those musketeers. I'm gonna get 5 musketeers out of there. And my plan at this point is to kind of work on rebuilding an army mass. Hopefully I'll build up enough of an army mass here on the sides to kind of challenge him, kill his big army mass, and then get myself back into this game. Because it's not over yet. Because if you look at the score, he's only got that army. That was my thinking in game, which, you know, it's accurate. Looking at all the data I have and the amount of villagers I've killed, if I can kill him there, I can win this game. BTM, why you so noob? BTM ain't no noob today, baby. BTM is going to win this. BTM is not going to give up. I built a little bit of a wall there. Not really the greatest wall ever, as you can see, because you can just walk around it. But it was just there to kind of slow him down a little bit. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm going to actually end up fixing it more. I probably should have sent Team Faster infantry training. That way I could have gotten musketeers out faster. That would have been helpful in this situation. I'm going to build another town center. And I am going to work on getting some more men out on the field. Again, I feel like I can win this, so I'm not too worried. But as you can see here, I do have a lot of villagers on those mills. And I am going to be keeping a close eye on them. If he seems to be marching towards them, I will be getting all those villagers out across the map. I don't want to lose them needlessly. Because a villager for me is either 100 food investment or 135 wood investment. And I would like to lose neither of those. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on him. The good news is he isn't destroying manor houses. He doesn't want to lose them. And I'm actually looking at the stats here. My musketeers are very, very inferior. And as I can see here, he's marching to me. So I am going to march all my villagers out and down and around. My goal is to get them out of there. And then I see a stable there. I'm like, well, crapper. You know what I mean? He's scouting now some 1 cav unit. Like he should. It's wise. And I'm realizing, well, maybe I should have walled this in already, but I didn't wall it in because I'm such a pro player. I was thinking I just need a little bit of barrier to slow him down, to force him to walk around, you know, just a stupid, like, not a big deal thing. So as I'm trying to walk my villagers to relative safety, they're going to get killed. In hindsight, I probably, in this situation, should have walked them a little bit more downwards on that same side. Because if you look at the far right, he's not even attacking there anymore. So I kind of overreacted a little bit. So, uh-oh. And I do know at this point that he can come in through this side. I'm like, how in the world am I ever going to wall that? You know what I mean? But not the end of the world. I am going to keep making musketeers at this point. He's probably making villagers by now. I assume he is. I hope he is. And I'm trying to get a little bit of a unit mass going. But that's not going to be enough of a mass likely to fight off whatever he sends. because it seems like he's avoiding the catastrophic mistakes that a noob would make in this position. He's avoiding my wall of delayed justice, and he's just going to come around and just start killing villagers. And I'm like, no! But as you can see here, again, if I can kill that army, I don't think he has a sustainable production. But then again, neither do I. I've kind of lost my footing and the such. So I'm not in the greatest shape ever. Although I do have 2 home city shipments, or 1 I haven't sent yet. So I could have probably used city shipments better. And at this point, though, he initially was ignoring my units going for my villagers, but now he's going to kill my units. So I'm like, well, that's not good. But at the very least, I have a good escape route through that wall, so I'll be fine. And as you can see here, I have a pretty nice horde of units again. So I didn't feel out of this fight. I'm in it. I'm in it. But he then turns his attention to me, and I'm like, well, crap. But Japan is overpowered, man. That's all I gotta say here. Although I did make some mistakes, but as you can see at this point, it is pretty much GG. I tried not to spoil this match for you guys all the way through it. I tried to keep entertaining the possibility of a big comeback, but I'll reveal it now. It is a GG. I don't end up winning it. I'm losing a lot of villagers, and there's not much I can do. So I was actually really happy after playing this match. I hate losing. Like, I hate losing. With a massive passion, I hate losing. But I was really happy about just a really well fought match. My first thing I go look at, by the way, most resources and most military units. If that doesn't tell you that Japan's OP, then I don't know what is. I look at the villager count and look at the stark difference due to my rating. If I had just been able, if I had upgraded my units or had made Hussar initially, oh, I would have won this. So lesson learned. When you go Musketeers with the British guys, you have to go Hussar. That's the lesson of the day. Musketeer, Hussar. First building barracks, second building stables. But thank you guys for watching. There will be an India video out later today, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And before I go, I do have the quote of the day for you guys, and it says, "Forestall your opponent by seizing what he holds dear, and subtly contrive to time his arrival on the ground." Ladies and gentlemen, that is from Sun Tzu in the Art of War. My name is BTM, aka Big Thunder Man, and I would like to thank you for watching. And until next time, good luck and happy hunting. BTM out.